Good morning. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the basic geometry vocabulary. And so that's what we're going to do. Trying to make this full screen. There we go. All right. So just the basic terms you need to know to communicate in geometry, kind of a common language. We're going to do this fairly quickly. We have 3 columns. There will be kind of a little picture or diagram, the vocabulary word, and then the symbol, how you would write that in symbols. All right, so let's get started. First, we have just kind of like the basic building block of geometry, which is a point. And when you want to write it in symbols, you can put just the letter, it's a capital letter, or you could write the word point and then put the letter. That's it, that's all point is. If you have an endless, infinite series of points all connected to each other, going on forever in both directions, that is a line. And a line is written as 2 capital letters with a little line symbol on top. You can do it in either direction. And also, often, there's like a fancy little letter at the end of the line, and you can use that. So you can just call it line M. If there's a letter, it will be a lowercase letter, kind of a fancy one in cursive. All right, so you have a point and a line, which is made up of an infinitely many points all stuck together. A piece of a line is called a segment. So it's kind of like if you cut out a chunk of a line, that is now a segment, a piece. And you name it again with 2 capital letters, but this time on top you just put a little segment symbol. And you can do that in either direction. All right, and then we have this little guy. It goes on forever in one direction, and that is called a ray. Rays you need to name very specifically using the end point first, and then the little arrow symbol on top. So just a little side note, these guys and this one, those are called end points because they're at the end. All right, another piece is a plane. We usually represent a plane by a parallelogram shape, and I'll put some points in there. And also this fancy cursive R. Okay, this is a plane. It's kind of like a tabletop of points or a wall of points, all stuck together, and it goes on forever in all the directions. A plane, you use 3 capital letters and the word plane in front. Plane, G-H-I. You can do those in any order, I-H-G, or any other order of those. However, you can see that little fancy one in the corner. You can also just name it plain R. It's kind of like a name tag. See, these 3 each have a point with them, but the R does not have a point with it. That's one of the ways you know it's its fancy name tag. All right, if you put 2 rays together, let me add some letters, then you're making an angle. All right, an angle you name with the 3 capital letters and this little symbol for angle. You always want this one, the vertex angle. It's called the vertex. You want to have that in the middle if you're using 3 letters. So this could be angle KJL. It could also be angle LJK. It could not be angle JKL. So the J has to be in the middle because it's the vertex angle. And you can also name it just by the vertex angle sometimes. And sometimes also there will be a small number in there and you can name it that also. So that would be angle 2. And again, that's the vertex angle. All right, those are the basic building blocks. Another word that's important, that we'll use sometimes. It looks like this. There's a bunch of points kind of drawn on the line. Those are called collinear points. Collinear means together. So the points are together on the same line. Points on the same line. And there's also coplanar. So you've got a bunch of points. Those are coplanar, and it's the same thing. Points on the same plane. So, for example, if you had a point drawn on the floor of your room and then a point drawn on the ceiling of your room, those would not be coplanar points. All right, that's it. Those are the basic geometry building block terms: point, line, segment, ray, plane, and angle, and then also the collinear and coplanar. You need to be able to identify what they are and also write them in symbols. All right, see ya.